Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. I am Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and we are back for another Monday morning edition of Beyond the Soundbite, where we talk about all things U.S. immigration. So I always like to dive right in, not a whole lot of fanfare. The first thing I want to talk to y'all about this morning is the first thing I talked about last Monday morning, which is the $100,000 H-1B fee based on the White House executive order. And yes, that is correct, $100,000. So lots of flurry of activity last Friday when it was dropped through the weekend. Wanted to give you guys an update on what all that means that we know so far. This is an ever-evolving executive order with FAQs, and I do honestly believe we will see more coming out from the government to provide clarity on this. But as of now, here is what we know. In terms of who is impacted, who is affected by this executive order, it is first-time H-1B applicants as of on or after September 21st who are outside of the U.S. And so that is a very important distinction. So those folks that are not impacted are people who filed an H-1B before September 21st. Those folks are not impacted. Folks that have currently in their passport right now, as of today, have a valid H-1B visa that allows them to travel in and out of the U.S., same as usual, nothing's changed. And those individuals that are inside the U.S., so on U.S. soil, who are filing H-1B extensions, amendments, and changes of employers. As of right now, those folks are also not impacted by this latest executive order for H-1B for the $100,000 filing fee or travel fee, visa fee, $100,000 fee, right? So those are the folks that are impacted. Those are the folks that are not impacted. So if you are outside of the U.S., you have not filed your H-1B yet, you will, as of today, you will have to pay $100,000 fee. So what does that really mean? So the $100,000 fee is for new applications that are filed after September 21st for folks that are outside of the U.S. The tricky part about this right now is that it requires proof of payment. So the consulate technically shouldn't be issuing visas until they've seen proof of payment, but we don't have a system, we don't have guidance on how to make that payment, right? So I suspect that is one of the things that they're potentially thinking about and working on in the background is proof of payment. We don't have a payment mechanism for this yet. So there's that. We're waiting. There are exceptions. So the exception to this executive order, to the proclamation, if you have a national interest, if you can argue a national interest that you need to be here, that your employee needs to be here, that the group of individuals working on a specific project need to be here, or if all individuals in a specific industry need to be admitted without the fee, as in terms of national interest. So that's what we know. What we don't know for this national exemption waiver is we've got no criteria on the waiver, and we don't have a process to apply for the waiver. So there are some moving parts which are still moving. We don't know because they haven't told us. So I think there's more conversation perhaps happening in the background that we will get more guidance on. But that's what we know right now. I think, frankly, we have many more questions than we have answers. But that's where we are. I will absolutely keep you guys updated on this on Mondays. And so we will just see what happens. Next up is the diversity visa lottery. As of September 16th of this year, there's now a $1 fee, $1 US fee to register for the diversity visa program. This fee will be paid at the time of registration. Again, don't really know how they're going to collect fee, probably online. That's my assumption. So we'll look out for changes in the system and let you know once we see those, once they announce that, that mechanism has been made live. In terms of this fee, it seems very low right now. It's $1. Frankly, it reminds me of the H-1B registration fee. And while the Devisa lottery and the H-1B lottery registration are two completely different lotteries run by two completely different agencies, they kind of remind me of one another because the fee for the H-1B lottery for quite some time was pretty low, and then it made a very significant jump. So I have zero expert knowledge and insider knowledge as to whether or not this $1 fee is just sort of a stepping stone and they may increase it later. But it wouldn't surprise me if it moved up, if it went up the next year or so from $1 to something much higher than $1. So just kind of keep that in the back of your minds if you're thinking about entering the Diversity Visa lottery. I would recommend you do it now because last year the fee was $0. Now it's $1. It may go up. I suspect it will. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye out on that. But the Diversity Visa lottery now does have a fee to enter. The temporary protected status for individuals who are from Syria, DHS has terminated temporary protected status for individuals from Syria, and that'll be effective November 21st of this year, 2025. The EADs that are currently outstanding and have already been issued will remain valid until that date. If you have a category code of A12, Alpha 12, or C19, Cat 19, and you have an expiration date of either September 9, 2022 on your EAD, or March 10, 2024, or September 10, 2025. So if you meet any of those, meet those criteria, then your work authorization will remain valid until that November 21st, 2025 date. Next up I have for you, Department of State, as we all know, oversees all of the consulates. And a reminder, effective October 1st of this year, 2025, the large majority of visa applicants at U.S. consulates will require an interview. Even if your interview has been waived for the past year, several years, what have you, the days of not having an interview before you're issued a visa are over. So keep that in mind when you are planning your travel, planning your trip, thinking about going overseas, whether it is for work, for pleasure, whatever it's for, and you think, oh, I'll just hop in and swing through a consulate and get a visa real quick and then come back in. It's probably not going to be real quick. There's only so many visa slots available. And now with almost 100% interview requirement, it's going to take longer to get those slots because it frankly will take longer for the consular officers to process applications because a certain percentage of the applications now will not be, or a much smaller percentage of the applications will not be visa either interview waived. So keep that in mind. Leave as much time as possible when considering going to get a visa and applying for a visa overseas. We have a new proposed rule that would a new proposed rule for H-1Bs. H-1Bs are a hot topic now, y'all. A new proposed rule for H-1Bs, for new H-1Bs, that would really favor certain individuals in certain positions over others. So I need to really kind of parse through that a little bit more before I can give you anything sort of concrete about it. But it is sort of an H-1B weighted selection process. They are accepting comments on that for 30 days. We'll see what happens there. If you have thoughts on it, if you have read the rule in its entirety, fully understand it, and you're welcome to put, send comments into the agency. They do read the comments. They do take them into consideration. Then we also have last week, I believe, week before last maybe, Department of Labor launched what they are calling Project Firewall. It is an enforcement initiative, I guess for lack of a better word, looking at employer compliance with H-1B regulations. So if you're not quite sure if you're in compliance, you're not quite sure what H-1B compliance is, feel free to reach out. We're happy to walk you through that. But that is what Department of Labor is looking at right now. Next up on my list, we've had quite a few things happen in the past week or so. Visa waiver. Visa waiver tied with ESTA. It is not a visa, but it is an electronic method of sort of vetting people before they come in without giving them actual visas and sending them through to the consulate. Back in 2023, I talked to you about Hungary, and they were limited in their visa waiver designation and usage. So they have essentially complied with whatever security concerns the U.S. brought to their attention. And so as of September 11 this year, they were allowed back into the visa waiver program, and fully, that should be implemented fully by September 30th. So a couple days. To fully reinstate Hungary's and their citizens' ability to participate in visa waiver. So if you are a citizen from Hungary and you are looking to get your ESTA, wait a couple of days and just make sure that all the software is, working correctly and that Hungary is listed as a visa waiver country. Because otherwise, if you apply before that, you may not be able to, and it may deny you. And so that's just a whole lot of headache that you don't need. So just wait a couple more days before you check the system. And the last thing I want to talk about this morning is TPS from Syria that has been terminated, and terminated as of November 21st, 2025. So we will keep you updated on that. And what that means, and how we move folks forward from there. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We are here to help. Here to help you with your employment-based work, your family-based work. And again, I'm Carol Williams with Williams Immigration, and this has been another Monday morning edition of Beyond the Soundbite. I will keep you up to date on everything that I see that's happening, and we will chat again next Monday. Bye.